In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how long it takes to build a house from scratch. From the day you buy the land to the day the house is 100% complete. I'm going to break down each step in between and show you the full timeline of the entire process. Online, you might hear 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or even more. But what exactly is the timeline? There's a lot of variables involved, and of course, where you are located is going to make the biggest difference. Different municipalities has different rules and different timelines on approving plans, permits, and doing inspections throughout the build process. And in this video, I'm going to give you 2 real-life examples of my own previous projects so you can have some real-world data points to go along with this video. The first step is buying the land. Now, of course, it can take months or even years to find the right piece of land. So we're just going to assume you already found the land you want and you just put in an offer and they accepted it and you're going under contract. If you're buying the land cash and there's no title issues with the property, you can buy it as quick as 1 week. However, normally you need a construction loan and there'll be some title stuff to clear up, so it normally takes around 2 to 4 months. I personally always buy the land cash, as I know my bank for the construction loan will count my purchase towards the down payment. So therefore, it's more efficient if I just buy it cash and close on it right away to get started on the entire process. For my recent 5-home development project, I got the land under contract on June 3rd of 2023, and I closed on it 6 days later on June 9th of 2023. This is the perfect storm of everything going right and everything being perfect. I've never had a deal close this fast before or since this deal. This is my fastest closing ever in just 6 days. And that's because there was no title issues, the seller was very responsive and responded to everything the title company needed, and the title company put a rush order on the file, and it just so happened that the underwriters were not as busy at that time with their workload. So all the stars lined up, and I had the cash ready and I was able to buy the land in just 6 days from when I went under contract. This is not normal at all, but I want to show you what is actually possible. Now, on the opposite end, I have a lot where I'm under contract for a client, and we went under contract July 1st of this year, 2025. As of this video, it's already September 15th, 2025, so it's been 2.5 months and we're still not ready to close. The seller inherited the property and he lived out of state, and the property has 8 different liens that have to be worked through and cleared before we can close on the property. It's been 2.5 months, and honestly, it'll probably take another 3 to 4 months to really get this deal done. So that's an extreme opposite end of 6 to 7 months just to close the land. So although my 2 examples were on the extremes and range from 1 week to 6 months, the most common time frame to purchase and close the land is normally between 1 and 2 months. After you close on the land, the next step is plans and permitting. Now, if you didn't get a survey while you were under contract on the lot, it's time to get one now. And you need to get an existing condition survey, and the turnaround time for that is anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. While that is being ordered, at the same time, you can send out your geotechnical engineer to do a soil report. What they'll do is they'll take samples of the dirt on your lot and then test it for its composition in order to determine what foundation needs to be designed to be built on this lot. And the turnaround time for that is anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. Now, if you're buying a larger lot to subdivide into smaller lots to build multiple homes, your next step will be the replat. And this can normally take anywhere from 5 to 7 weeks, unless you have to do a public hearing. And a public hearing is basically where you have to put notices up and let the neighbors know that you're trying to do something different with the lot, and then hold a meeting for anyone to voice their concerns. But this delays the process another 2 to 4 weeks. So the replat can range from anywhere from 5 to 10 weeks, but normally around 6 to 7 weeks is a good estimate. If you are building in a flood zone or you're doing a shared driveway development, then you're going to need civil engineering plans. And this will require a lot more surveys from the surveyor, such as the topography survey and elevation certificates. And this will all take an extra 6 to 8 weeks before you can continue forward with the regular architectural plans. Now, once you close on the land, you can have the architect start working on the custom plans, and they can make the final adjustments when they get the soil report and the civil engineering work. So that can take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to get a full set of custom-made architectural and structural plans. If the architect already has existing plans that you are okay with or that you like, then that's great. That will save you time as they already have the plans already completed. The next step is to submit those plans to the city for approval, and this will be the longest part. It can take anywhere from 2 months to 8 months or more to get city approval and stamped final plans to start building the house. The city is always slow, and there'll be multiple back and forth requests from the city and your architect to make changes and comments throughout the entire process. Going back to the same examples, my 5-home development project was actually very smooth. It only took 10 weeks to get the fully stamped and approved plans. My architect had submitted the plans September 26, and I got the final stamped plans back on December 3rd. However, I had a project recently where I had to subdivide a 10,000 square foot lot into 6 individual lots with a shared driveway, and it was located in a flood zone. So I had extra civil engineering work and then extra design work for the retention on the shared driveway. Plus, there was a phantom sewer line issue that also popped up. It took over a year to get the final and stamped approved plans and permits from the city of Houston. But of course, that's a very rare and specific scenario. So most likely, you're going to take 2 to 4 months to get the stamped final plans back from the city. Now, chances are you will need a construction loan to build your house. While you are working on all the plans and permits, at the same time, you also want to start working on the construction loan. This isn't like a normal mortgage. On top of all the regular things for a mortgage like your income verification and background and credit check, you will also need a set of plans for the bank or the lender to get an appraisal off of, as well as a line item construction budget and a builder track record or verification. This step normally takes anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. This is a slow process because the underwriters are combing through every little detail, but you can help speed it up by having all the documents that they want ready and available when they ask for it. I recommend working with local small banks or credit unions as they tend to move a little faster, or at the minimum, you have direct contact to whoever's in charge of approving or denying your loan. Once all the plans and permits are approved and you have your financing locked in, it's finally time to break ground. So the first step in the actual vertical construction phase is going to be site preparation. That means clearing the lot, grading it for the proper drainage and elevations, and then trenching for the utility undergrounds. Then your foundation contractor will set the wooden forms of the boundary outline of where they'll pour the foundation. After that, you'll call a surveyor back out to do a form survey to make sure the foundation is in the right spot where it's supposed to be. Once that is confirmed, your contractor will then start trenching and putting in the rebar and setting everything up for the foundation. After that, the structural engineer who designed the plans and the city inspector will come out and inspect and make sure all the rebar, all the footings, everything is in the correct place and are up to code. Once you have the go-ahead, it's finally time to pour the actual concrete into the foundation, and that's normally the quickest part. So all in all, site work, utility undergrounds, trenching, forms, foundation, all of that takes anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks, and it could run longer if there are weather or inspection delays. Next comes framing. This is the step where your home starts to actually look like a house. The crew builds the walls, the trusses, the sheathing, the siding, the cornice, and the roof decking. And this step is pretty exciting because the progress looks like it's moving very fast during this stage. But here's the catch. The framing stage has the most number of inspections from the city. At least here in the city of Houston, you're going to have 4 inspections: hurricane strap, sheathing, nail pattern, and firewall inspections. Of course, this all depends on your municipality. If you're outside the city of Houston limits, you only have 1 frame inspection and things move a lot faster and it's cheaper on the permitting side. Once the walls and the trusses are installed, the contractor will install all the sheathing around the house and then install all the windows before finally putting on the siding. Some builders at this time will install the roof as well so they can dry in the home since it rains so much here in Houston, so the guys can get started on the inside rough-ins. Other builders like to wait for the plumber to finish his rough-ins first because he will have waste vent pipes that penetrate the roof and go up to the sky, and they'd rather do that after instead of cutting holes in the roof and patching it up again. Now, the framing and siding stage will take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, and it all depends on how big the house is, how many stories does the house have, and of course, weather delays. Once the frame is up and the house is dried in, it's time for the guts of the home. And I mean the electrical, plumbing, and HVAC rough-ins. First, the plumber will run the water and the waste lines. After that, the HVAC crew will come in and install all the ducts and the indoor AC unit. Lastly, the electrician will come in and run all the wires for the outlets, switches, and fixtures. This step takes some time because all 3 trades have to work around each other, and each of these 3 trades will have inspections before they can finish off and close up the walls. Normally, the plumbing rough-ins will take about 2 weeks, as you also have gas being run by the plumbers and shower pan inspections. The HVAC rough-ins will take about 2 to 4 days, and the electrical rough-ins will take about a week. Once the mechanicals are approved, it's time to close up the walls. But before you do that, you have to have the first floor wood treated for termites, and that takes about half a day. After that, you want to install insulation on all the exterior facing walls, and that normally takes 3 to 4 days. Once that's complete, the drywall contractors will come in and they'll hang, tape, mud, and texture drywall all throughout the house. Now this process takes some time, as after the mud phase, you have to let it dry, and also after the texturing, you have to let it dry before painting. All in all, there's multiple passes, and this can take anywhere from a week and a half to 2.5 weeks. In the bathrooms, you'll be installing hardy backer instead of drywall, as that's where the tile will go. And that hardy backer needs to be waterproofed before it's ready to be tiled. On average, you can expect the drywall to take anywhere from 5 to 10 days, and the tiling also is 5 to 10 days. Now comes trim and carpentry. This is when the carpenter will install all the interior doors, door casings, window casings, baseboards, closet shelves, and other trim around the house. They will also assemble and install the kitchen cabinets and the bathroom vanity cabinets. And this normally takes about 1 week. After that, the countertop guy can come in and install the countertops for the kitchen and bathrooms, and that normally takes 3 to 5 days. While the carpenter is working on the inside, your painters should start painting the exterior of the home. First, they'll need to prep the house with putty and caulking all around the exterior, and that normally takes 2 to 4 days. After that, they need another 2 to 4 days to paint the exterior of the home. Once the trim is complete, the painters can then move indoors and prep, caulk, putty, and then prime the walls and doors and trim, and then paint them several coats, and this whole process will take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. Next will be the finishes and the floors on the inside, and landscaping and driveway on the exterior. This is the step where your house actually looks like a home. Your electrical, HVAC, and plumber will come back and install their finishes. For example, HVAC will install the AC grills and the thermostat, while the plumber will install the sinks, toilets, faucets, garbage disposal, and the electrician will install light fixtures, ceiling fans, outlets, and switches. This is also when the mirrors, shower glass, and the hardware like doorknobs and door stops and cabinet pulls get installed. And this whole process should take around 1 week. Once all that is done, it is finally time to install the floors. The flooring contractor will first float and self-level the floors to make sure everything is perfectly level, and then let that dry before installing the vapor barrier. After the vapor barrier is installed, then they will install the actual floors. This process will take 1 to 2 weeks, as it's very detail oriented to make sure everything looks perfect. While that is going on the inside of the home, on the exterior, your landscaper will be doing the landscaping. They'll be putting down the finished grade and soil to prep and then install your plants, your gravel, your pebbles, or whatever landscaping you want. And at the same time, they'll also install the gutters around the house, and your driveway contractor will be pouring the concrete for the driveway and the sidewalks. This exterior process takes 2 to 3 weeks, so it should finish about the same time as when your floors finish on the inside. Now, the final step is to pass all the final inspections and obtain the certificate of occupancy. Every trade will have a final inspection: structural, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and driveway and sidewalks. Scheduling all the inspections should take anywhere from 2 to 4 days. But if you fail any of the inspections, you would have to fix it and then call for a reinspection, which can delay another 2 to 4 days. Once everything is passed, you can finally apply for the certificate of occupancy, and that normally takes 2 weeks to be issued. Once you receive that certificate of occupancy, you are finally 100% finished and completed with your new build. So there you have it. That's the complete timeline from start to finish for a new construction home build. If you found this video helpful, please like the video. And if you build in another state besides Texas, let me know how my timeline differs from yours.